Yesterday, we got a thing in the mail. That thing was the boring hat from the Boring Company from Elon Musk. It looks like this. Yeah! Um, and what I wanted to do was a long-standing project, which was make a hat or a shirt or something. This shirt says board, and I want to make both of them responsive to EEG data, so they actually light up in a flash when you're bored. So I've been messing around with that for today. It's Throwback Thursday, and so this is, rehashing kind of an older hack, but I've never quite been able to get it to where I wanted. And I'm still having some issues today, so I thought I would just go for it and tell you where I'm at, and hopefully we'll have something that is going to work really well really soon. So I've linked the EEG section of Hackster in the description of this video. And that includes a number of tutorials by myself, as well as other people. Mine cover this really cool hardware hack involving the MindFlex headset, which will measure your brainwaves and is popular for hacking. And you can slurp the signal out of that with an Arduino Uno, and thereby use it for controlling whatever kind of hardware you want, which is really exciting. Plus, you can get feedback on your screen. You can feed it into processing and make pretty graphs. You can make just a CSV with your brain data in it and then do cool stuff with it after the fact. And you can also make it trigger different things. They include an example called Brain Blinker, which is what we're going to be modifying slightly in order to do this. So those tutorials are under Mesh Your Brain, which is a hack that I did using the Pinocchio controller. And for this I'm going to be using a standard Arduino Uno. And then also there's a comfort upgrade that I've posted about before, which is this headphones hack, so that instead of having something strapped around your head like this, it's in a kind of a pair of earmuffs that go around your neck. It looks kind of cool and like still dorky, but not more like cyberpunk and less like, hi, I'm in the 5th grade and I made this machine to talk to my brain, which is, we've all been there too. So I've tried to adapt this hack to a number of different Arduinos, and it's never worked for me. My guess is that there's something deep inside the brain library that makes it so that it only wants to talk to Arduinos, or to Unos. And so I've gone back to that, and just now I was trying to update the code, and getting this error, the infamous AVR dude, programmer is not responding, etc. Turns out that's because I have a wire soldered to the RX pin, which is part of the hardware hack. The receiving data pin on the Arduino, you connect that pin and ground to the MindWave headset. And turns out that disables you from being able to actually upload code. So what I'm going to do is switch for a minute to the webcam and solder that. I'm putting a switch on the 1 pin, or pin 0 rather, I think it is. Yeah, pin 0, the RX pin, so that I can enable or disable that connection as I wish. Basically having a programming mode and a using mode. And this is just a little switch from the LilyPad collection by SparkFun. And then after that, I'm going to upload the code for Brain Blinker here. So the way that this comes in the library is pretty cool. You use this. Yeah, you're importing the library. You have, as usual, an LED on pin 13. You have this interval. It reads every half second. Oh no, this is based on the attention value. Cool. Yeah. You pull the data from the Bluetooth headset. And here's the thing. So you get data for attention, which is basically reading the beta frequencies, in 0 to 100. And normally it comes as, so the interval between blinks, this LED in this sketch, will blink more rapidly if you're more focused. And what I want to do is the opposite of that, right? I want it to start blinking crazily if I'm unfocused. So instead of saying 100 minus the brain attention value times 10 is going to be our interval between blinks, right? So that would mean like if attention is high, say like 89 or something, then the interval is going to be short because that'll be 100 minus 89, which is 11 times 10. You get 110 milliseconds, like a tenth of a second between blinks, right? But what I want to do is remove that so that it's just the interval between blinks gets longer as your attention value. Oh, you know what? I want it to be longer as it drops. Yeah, the interval between them is longer. Yeah, of course. So it blinks less as you're more focused. Yeah, cool. Brain fart there. Okay, so I'm going to unplug this Arduino and I'm going to plug in my webcam so that you can actually see what's going on. And actually, I'm going to shortly have to leave, but we're going to pick this up again tomorrow, and then I'm going to smush them all together into a series that will be a new project specifically dedicated to... Oh no, you can see how horribly messy my desk is. I forgot to aim the camera before I did this. Oh my. Okay, so here you've got the headphone setup thing. And what I've done is very inelegant. Because I can only use an Uno on this, that won't actually fit into my headphone setup. So I've just taped it on because we're prototyping here. And I'm going to zoom in a bit. Or out rather, so that we can get a good view of this. And then I'm going to have to position it. Cool. And then I'm going to apply this switch. Oh no. There we go. Too much behind the scenesing. We don't like that much behind the scenes. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is apply some solder to the pads of this little wearable tech switch that I've got. It's a nice small size, and that means that it's going to fit well in here. Now the thing is that I've actually attached, I've stuck this wire through this little hole for strain relief, so that if I move the Arduino around, it's not going to yank too hard on the wire itself. But it looks like I'm going to have to rethink that positioning now. So let's pull this out. I'm going to stick it through this hole. And then we'll do it that way and everything will be wonderful and nice. I think I can do this in a way that I don't short anything out too bad. Again, this is not the most elegant of hacks, but it's going to work. Okie doke. Now that's attached. And actually, let's put this on the top of here. Alright, so now that should enable me to create or break the connection between the Arduino and the Bluetooth guy so that I can actually program it. And so what I'm going to do is first show you this blinker program, or show you it working anyway, the connection and the uploading. And then we're going to take a look at what the data actually look like when they come out of this thing, because it's really cool. And then after that, I'm going to run away again, and we will catch up with this project next week. Eek! There we go. Alright, so now my Arduino is plugged in. This should be all beautiful. We've got the port being recognized, that's good. And I'm going to break this connection so it's all in the off position. And now I'm going to try hitting upload again. And if we're not completely stupid, it should... Yes! Awesome! See, like even after oh, what year is it? 2018? 9 years of working with Arduino. I still run into that stupid problem, and I still run into random edge cases like, oh, you have something attached to the RX pin, therefore your uploading isn't going to work. And I still forget. So this is glorious. Okay, it's actually uploaded. That's fantastic. Well, should we just hook up a little LED to it now then? It's always a bit of a pain getting the connectivity to work, but I'm going to show you real quick. Yeah, let's switch to the other sketch because that'll be cooler for you to look at. So I'm going down to File, Examples, and then Brain, which comes up when you have the Brain library installed. Hello, Brain. There we go. I'm going to switch this window to that one. So this is the other sketch that will allow us to look at the actual data. Cool. And this just starts a serial connection with your computer and then prints a CSV, which is the comma separated values of what is being read from the EEG device. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to put this on. It's going to look kind of silly. But then when we get to actually building the hat, you're going to have a much easier time understanding what's actually going on. All right, so here's the assembly. It goes around like that. And then I put this pin, little clip on my ear for grounding. And then, you gotta upload this as well. Huh. And I have to not forget that I need to reconnect the Arduino and the brainwave reader by flipping this little switch now. Haha, cool. I wish I could see it better though. There we go. And I'm going to flip the power on the reader, which should turn a little green light on underneath, but we can't really see that. It's in there though. Okay, so now I'm going to open up the serial monitor, which should be reading values. Yes, glorious. I'm going to show you that. And I'm going to tell you what it is doing. Okay. So this is what we're getting out of the brainwave reader. And the first value is the signal quality. So that goes from 0 to 200, where 200 is actually the worst possible, and 0 is a good connection that's like nice and solid. I'm going to scroll this up so you can see. There we go. Cool. And of course, new values are coming in at the bottom. And after a while, it's going to start telling me that the feedback is too long, but that's fine. Okay, and then eventually this guy is going to go onto my forehead. And you see how the signal quality is already much better, ranging between 26 and 51. And I'm going to apply this Band-Aid. It's going to take a second. Sort of hold the electrode in place. And what I've done is broken out the electrode from the brainwave reader and just attached it to a little electrode holder. And sometimes it takes a lot of monkeying to get the signal quality to actually go down to a 0. What you can do is apply some conductive paste, which I don't happen to have on hand. Come on. There we go. Awesome. Okay. For a moment, we got a 0. Oh, this is always such a pain. Do your thing. Come on. Gotta move it around a little bit. And I'm going to try and contact it just with this Band-Aid, because yeah, because I don't want to have interference from my fingers and stuff. The other thing that people say about this NeuroSky setup is that, so NeuroSky makes the chip that's inside of this Mindwave headset. And people say that the problem with it is that you have a bunch of interference from muscle movements and stuff. So like if I frown or clench my jaw or blink my eyes, all of those things could potentially affect the readings here. And so this often is the most tedious part of the process. And every once in a while we get a 0. You know what? I kind of wonder if putting the hat on would actually help with connectivity, because it would... Yes! Okay. We got a 0 for a second there. Come on. This is already becoming kind of an outfit in itself. I bet we can get it to work. It's so tantalizing. It keeps giving me a 0 like every once in a while. And then it stops again. Why do you taunt me? So anyway, reading the data here, the first value here is always going to be the connectivity value. You want that to be as close to 0 as possible. Once it's 0, you start getting data out of it. And the second value is attention, which is basically a sort of fancied up 0 to 100 normalized reading of your beta wave frequencies. And then the third value is meditation, which is related to your alpha frequencies and how strong they are proportionally. The final 8 values are weighted values of broken down frequency bands. So you can look all of that up. In my tutorials, I link to the original documentation by the authors of the Brain Library. It looks like we're having a decent amount of trouble getting good, solid connectivity. There we go. Oh my god. We keep being so close! So close! It'll go down to 0 for like 1 or 2 cycles and then stop again. So tragic. Anyway, so I'm going to keep monkeying around with this. You know, we'll get some 0s, we'll get some excellent values. And I'll be back next week with the continuation of this project, which is going to basically take those values and turn them into a blinking LED on the hat, which I have selected now. A beautiful little red LED which will camouflage pretty well with the O. And I'm also going to put a feedback LED inside the brim of the cap that will show me what's going on, because it's very difficult to tell if you have something mounted on the top of your head whether it's actually working or not, so it's always good when you're making head-mounted wearables to have some kind of visible feedback for the user themselves. Okay, this is being a jerk, so feel free to watch the videos if you want an example of it actually working. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to try and find some better ways of hooking this up. But at least I'm really happy that I've been able to solve the programming issue and get the whole thing working again. As I mentioned before, one of the big things about this is that I've never been able to get it to work on anything other than the Uno. So that would also be nice to be able to like shrink it down to a smaller size and put it somewhere. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I hope you had an excellent Throwback Thursday. I definitely did. And we'll see you tomorrow for Fundum Friday, and then back again next week for more videos. Have an awesome weekend and stuff.